Take a look at this. After half a century of waiting, investigators finally hauled part of a car from the Columbia River today. This underwater find may just hold the answers to the long unsolved mystery of what happened to a Portland family that vanished more than 50 years ago. Good evening, I'm Anthony Costura, and this is The 10. Those crews finally hauled that car onto a truck today, kicking off a new chapter in this decades-old mystery. We've got team coverage tonight. Our Ariel Yakabazi breaks down what's next for the car and this investigation. First, though, our own Jeff Gianola, who's followed this case for years, brings the latest from the scene of the salvage operation there in Cascade Locks.
I'm Jeff Gianola reporting from Cascade Locks, where a key piece of possible evidence emerges in the case of the missing Martin family. But another piece remains firmly submerged on the bottom of the river. The anticipation came to an end at 3:40 in the afternoon Friday. The crane pulling up what remained of the vehicle, thought to be the 1954 station wagon the Martins vanished in 66 years ago. But what surfaced was just an undercarriage, axle, wheels, and part of the engine. Hood River Sheriff Matt English, who led the recovery effort, was disappointed but not surprised.
This is something that we kind of anticipated could be a reality. It's been in there for 66 years. And so, it's really rusty and really falling apart. And so I think they'll do more of a debrief, with the professionals. But it sounded like, whatever is left there is full of rocks.
The sheriff says he's not sure if divers will look for evidence still submerged with the shell of the car.
I think everybody wanted to see an entire car come up.
When the Martins first vanished, Multnomah County Detective Walter Graven took up the case. Frustrated, it was never solved. His grandson Greg and daughter Gloria were on hand for the recovery effort.
It was such a shock to hear that they pretty much think they found the car. So many emotions. I just feel my dad's spirit here today, and I'm so happy, but very emotional.
He took pride in wanting to find the answers. That's carried through to third generations now, from my dad to me, is that we are the last voice for a family. We are a last voice to find out what the results are of what happened to them and to give answers to the family.
The wreckage was covered and hauled away to a secure location to begin the next phase of the investigation, combing through what's left for clues and evidence. And during the recovery effort, a bald eagle flying above it all, perhaps the spirit of the Martin family rising above their mysterious tragedy. So now the work begins to go through that wreckage looking for any clues or evidence. And if investigators find anything, we'll be the first to let you know. Reporting from Cascade Locks, Jeff Gianola.
Just incredible reporting from Jeff. And after a grueling week, investigators finally managed to pull the decades-old vehicle from the waters you just saw. Our Ariel Yakabazi now explains the next steps.
Well, that massive crane has finally been put away, and all crews have finally gone home after days of investigation here at the Cascade Locks. Hood River County Sheriff Matt English and his officials are now getting to the nitty-gritty, trying to figure out if that car, one of the cars found here in the deep, dark depths of the Columbia River, actually belonged to the Martin family. You're looking at the moments this massive crane removed what could be the Martin family vehicle, or at least most of it. Hood River County Sheriff Matt English tells us they have the main parts, including the engine, which could make for a positive identification. But he says he's staying cautiously optimistic as this investigation continues.
They're going to take that vehicle back to our secure facility. They hope to start processing a bit tonight. Look for the identifying information that we had from the files, and then go from there. Honestly, there's a probability that we may never know.
We also checked in with Archer Mayo, the local diver who discovered the car back in November after spending 7 years searching for it. He says this week and today's excavation have been emotional.
I'm so excited to see how many people are interested in this now, because I've had this virus for quite a while, and to now see people really responding to the Martin mystery and the family and the compelling narratives of this, and to bring it to a head has been super great. great.
Mayo says he's hoping to help in the investigation in any way he can to help bring closure to this decades-old case. Sheriff English says over the next couple of days, he's hoping to get more answers to this decades-long case, and that could mean getting back into the icy waters of the Columbia to gather more evidence. Back to you.
Our thanks to Ariel Yakabazi and Jeff Gianola tonight. For more on the Martin family and their decades-long disappearance case, you can visit coin.com. Check out the timeline as well as Jeff's report on the 50th anniversary and his podcast series on the investigation.